Every fortune has a price, and today you're about to discover the highest one ever paid. It started with a simple act, a routine purchase. One ticket, one moment, one decision. For most people, buying a lottery ticket is just a game, a fantasy, a small flicker of hope against overwhelming odds. But for James Wilburn, a quiet, unremarkable man living in the outskirts of Florida, it became a gateway to another world. One he never imagined, one he could never escape from. The numbers came in, they matched, all of them. Overnight, James transformed from a face in the crowd to the face on every screen. Reporters camped outside his modest home. Neighbors he barely knew knocked on his door. Everyone wanted a piece of the man who now held a check worth $23 million. At first, the transformation was magical. The new house, the cars, the designer clothes, the champagne, the vacations. The sudden power of saying yes to every desire. But money doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you were hiding. James began to shift. Paranoia crept in. He stopped answering old friends. He hired private security. He started withdrawing. Large sums of cash, not for spending, but for hiding. Rumors spread that he no longer trusted anyone, that he believed he was being watched, that he feared he was being hunted. And then, silence. Just 2 years after his win, James Wilburn vanished. No note, no farewell, just vanished. As if he had been erased. Authorities were baffled. His accounts had been drained. His house abandoned. His last known footage showed him driving into the Everglades, alone. What happened to James? Did he fake his disappearance? Was he running from someone or from himself? And most chilling of all, could it be that the very money he once celebrated was the thing that destroyed him? This is not a fairy tale. This is not a Netflix thriller. This is real, and it's far more disturbing than fiction. If you enjoy real stories that expose the dark side of money, hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because here, the truth always comes to light. You're about to enter a world where dreams and nightmares wear the same face, where the lottery doesn't just give, it takes. And in James Wilburn's case, it may have taken everything. Let's begin. James Wilburn's descent didn't happen. All at once. From the outside, it looked like a life most people would envy. A luxury car in the driveway, a mansion with a pool that sparkled under the Florida sun, trips to Europe, private dinners, expensive wine. But inside that house, James wasn't celebrating. He was watching. Watching his cameras, watching his staff, watching his neighbors, watching the shadows grow longer every night. According to close sources, James became obsessed with the idea that his lottery win had made him a target. He spoke often of being followed. He stopped trusting banks and began withdrawing large sums, some of which were later found buried on his property, wrapped in plastic and duct tape. He fired his financial advisor after accusing him of betrayal. He cut ties with his own sister, claiming she was trying to poison him, and he installed bulletproof windows in a house no one ever tried to break into. Then came the lawsuit. A woman named Diane, who claimed to be James's former girlfriend, filed a suit saying he had promised to share the winnings with her, and never did. She wasn't the only one. Old co-workers, distant cousins, even a former landlord suddenly remembered past promises James had allegedly made. Each claim was a crack in the wall, and James was already on the edge. There were reports that he hired a private investigator to follow his own lawyer, that he changed his phone number 6 times in 1 month, that he began sleeping during the day and roaming his house at night, flashlight in hand. And then, the final sighting. CCTV footage showed James entering a gas station late one night, alone. He looked thinner, paranoid. He bought fuel, a pack of cigarettes and prepaid cell phones. Hours later, cameras caught him driving south toward the Everglades, a vast, unforgiving swamp where people go to disappear. His car was later found abandoned on a dirt road. Inside, fast food wrappers, maps, a small duffel bag with $38,000 in cash, and nothing else. No note, no trace. The authorities searched for weeks. No body, no evidence of foul play, just whispers, rumors, and the chilling silence of a man who vanished without a trace. Was it suicide? Escape? or something far darker? What we do know is this: the money didn't just change James Wilburn, it consumed him. And in the end, it may have led him straight into oblivion. If you've made it this far, it means this story got to you. So drop a comment below telling us what shocked you the most, and share this video with someone who needs to know that greed always comes with a price. The official case file on James Wilburn remains open, but cold. No new leads, no confirmed sightings, just theories. Some believe he staged his own disappearance, using the last of his millions to build a new identity in a country with no extradition. Others insist he died in the swamps, taken by nature or perhaps by something or someone more human. There's even a faction online that believes James never existed at all, that he was part of a larger financial cover-up we were never meant to notice. But what we do know is this: sudden wealth is not always a blessing. For James, it was a spotlight that revealed every crack in his life, every fear, every secret. What the lottery gave him wasn't freedom, it was exposure. And once the spotlight turned on, the shadows only grew darker. This story isn't just about one man, it's a mirror. Because deep down, many of us fantasize about instant wealth, about escaping the grind, about having it all. But we rarely ask, what happens next? What would it reveal about us? And who would we become when no one could say no to us ever again? James Wilburn isn't a legend, he's a warning. Money, when unearned and unchecked, doesn't just amplify who we are. It can unravel us, twist our instincts, feed our paranoia, and in some cases, erase us completely. So the next time you dream of winning it all, ask yourself, are you ready for what comes with it? Because in the end, and here we say it again, every fortune has a price.